the end of the internet, where we talk about the internet as a community and industry and any news that flows through our doors. Come take a seat. My name's Reese.
And my name's James.
And you know where else I like taking a seat is in a church pew, or in this case, an auditorium, like a lawn chair, to watch two of the greatest names in internet history get married.
But would you pay for it?
I most certainly would not.
I mean, I would.
I wouldn't pay for it because I think they're both not
weddings
great
are a
people.
ton of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, if somebody makes me pay for their wedding, that makes me mad. They're extorting me. Unless it's free booze, which then I'm just kind of paying for the free, which means it's not free anymore.
Yep, that came full circle.
That went really quick. Anyway, sorry. So to stay on track here, what we're talking about today is the internet personalities Jake Paul and Tanner Mongeau were officially, allegedly not married, but according to what they've put out, officially married.
And I just want to quickly say, please don't close the podcast now. We're not going to be talking about for the Paul brothers for the whole episode. They were good.
I feel like the fact that we had it initially at the start, it's like we don't like either of these people. We're just talking about it because they suck.
Oh, it's industry news.
It is, actually. That's exactly it. You know, it's you got to be fair and square. The sword is the law. I don't actually know what that statement means, but, you know, it is the law. It is the industry. But yes, so they've been married, and they had fantastic opportunities for anybody who wasn't attending the ceremony to actually watch it via means of an online stream, as opposed to anywhere else you can stream it. But nonetheless, it was a stream, and it sounds like a really, really good concept. And I mean, hell, if I was big enough and I wanted to publicize my wedding like that, I'd imagine that it'd be a really, really good way to not only engage with your fans, but because they charged a viewership fee, it effectively was a good way to drum up some cash too.
Now, was this only through Halogen?
It was only through that, yes.
Which is a new app. Apparently, it's been around for a while. Celebrities have used it before, but it's a streaming service where you have to pay. And apparently, we had prices between $50 to $75 to join in on this beautiful moment.
No, it's just so interesting to see how this happened. And what ended up coming out of it is not only was the price extortionistically huge to see this wedding happen.
I don't think that's outrageous. People pay more than that for a pay-per-view sporting event.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, these people, like, it's not like they're like the top of the game in their wedding. Actually, no, but they are kind of the top of the game online at the moment with the 12-year-old community.
I think that it's, in some cases, like, we're small drops in the pond that is online culture and stuff. But if you were actually in tune with the whole kind of online community and, you know, and that's your business, I think that $50 is kind of an investment just to see what's going to happen, knowing these two absolute drama magnets are getting married, and just assuming that it's going to go off without a hitch. Yeah, not likely. I think a lot of people paid that money going, what's going to happen? Because it sure as hell isn't a wedding.
You know, the more that you say it like that, I actually can feel that much more. Yeah, that seems like a much more likely thing why people were watching that.
But you're right, 50 and 75, that is a lot, even for that.
It's a lot, yeah, it's a lot for that. And I mean, anyway, long story short, to see, the reason why I say it's extortionistically high is because I'm saying that as, you know, Captain Hindsight over here, because of the view you got as a viewer. When you paid your money to get your e-ticket to watch it, you got to watch from the outside, really far away from the altar, with no viewership, no camera, what's it called, cinematography, no camera work, no cameraman, nothing, just a stationary camera that was just filming. It looked like somebody had plugged in a webcam too with the amount of quality it was. Just like a C920 and just kind of let it go. Used an artificial zoom as well. I
did see footage of it closer that I thought was being streamed. I don't know about that. Maybe that was the difference between the 50 and the 75 though. Unfortunately, it's really hard to find out the details on that, at least, because if you post any footage from this, you will get DMCA'd.
Yeah, pretty much straight up.
Because it is a pay event, and I understand that. But the image quality, at least of the one inside that I saw, my God, like, it may be because so many people were streaming.
Just killed the bandwidth.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever been to an event, like, I remember if you've ever ran like a marathon, when people get to the other end, they all pull out their phones, they're all trying to, you know, get lifts and get in contact with people, and the internet just craps itself. You know, music festivals have the same thing. It may have just been that so many people were trying to get that perfect stream or that perfect footage of I Do that all of the streaming quality was just chunky. Audio was cutting out. And every person that's sticking their camera above their head to try and get a picture means the guy behind him is raising their camera, and just
Oh, God.
a poor idea.
You end up with like a coliseum based of phones and cameras. My God. But so I guess what was really interesting about this, and as you said before, people are tuning in to see what's going to go wrong or what's going to happen, because they're not going to tune in to see this beautiful moment with two drama-ridden internet stars. There's gotta be
some of them.
there.
I mean, that's not our scene, but there are definitely people that
there's
love
a reason
good
why
wedding.
they're huge.
I cry every time.
Jake didn't marry me. No, but it's like they ended up having a few little dramas here and there, and the main one people know of was the fight, quote unquote, fight that broke out after the I do's, basically.
Now, if you think that somebody throwing a drink at the groom and bride and they're getting fist fought by the goddamn priest, or the officiant, if you think that's a small drama, I want to know what goddamn weddings you're going to. Holy crap.
No, I mean, I just loved how, so when it happened, it was like, you could see the drink get thrown on them. Tana turns around and you can hear her go, "Are you serious?"
Oh my God.
And then Jake turns around and pushes the dude while standing stoic, looking at him. And then the pastor just pushes past Jake and starts laying into this dude.
Wailing. Now, I do want to know, do you think it's real? Do you think that was orchestrated, or do you reckon that was...
Honestly, from everything, obviously before I saw anything, when I first saw this, my immediate thought was, that looks so fake.
Yeah, which at the moment appears to be general consensus online.
Yeah, that's the alleged allegation. The allegation towards this fight is that it's fake, and it's only just because, and this is honestly the only thing that gave it away for me, was the officiant, the pastor, the whatever you want to call him, the punches he was throwing on this dude, like at this dude's head while he was on the ground, looked like WWE punches. Like,
yeah.
Really pulling them, hitting as lightly as you can, but still trying to give a little bit of a thwomp on this guy's arm that's covering his head, because, you can't risk hurting this dude if he's an actor.
See, I was on the fence at first because I was happy I didn't care enough. I was happy to wait and see some more deets. I still don't know that guy's name. Everyone still just calls him the red shirt guy. That's what makes me think this is fake. I mean, if you consider the stuff people have done for clout, this guy was literally international news.
Yeah.
There were cameras everywhere. He just needed to, and what, nobody saw his face? Nobody identified him? Yeah, he must have been a plant. Like, I would like to assume... No, I was going to say I'd like to assume the best, but no, this was a purely publicity stunt, and that's fine. I mean... people have done weddings for less.
Yeah.
People have done weddings for tax cuts. These guys may as well make some cash out of it.
Or for citizenships. Then I divorced them.
One can at a time, thank you. But apparently you need to file for a wedding license or something in that county that they got married, and they just... I think it was in Vegas, actually. And they just didn't. So, we're in the street, on this big drama cake we've got going, another layer is that it was all just fake. Like, none of it was ever going to stick.
I mean, I just want to get a proper, like, an officiant for my sort of thing, like the celebrant wearing, bright sunglasses for me as well when I eventually get married. He just seemed like, he just looked like a lot of fun, just a really cool guy.
If your priest can't throw hands at a moment's notice, then your wedding doesn't mean nothing.
Exactly. What if we get, attacked by a demon?
Yeah, or somebody throwing champagne lightly at the bride.
Yeah, goddamn, I'm so mad.
You gotta be ready to whoop ass, yeah.
You know what? I want to start doing that now. All Catholic Church, like all brothers and people that are practicing to be priests, now need to be able to fast what? They fast anyway. Pass a physical karate match. I want to know.
And then the final test before you become a priest is to defeat like a devil, a demon in fisticuffs.
Fight the Pope.
And the Pope's just jacked. Oh, that'd be sweet. I think we're giving the church too much credit here. Anyway, so there's just 1,000 things. I mean, this is kind of interesting too because everyone just knew that this was going to be YouTube drama. They bought the tickets anyway. It was YouTube drama. People are upset. They all cried for refunds because, as we said, the stream quality was terrible. Most of them actually got, I think, they actually got paid back their refunds.
Wow.
Yeah, apparently it's like $250,000 worth too.
Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah, 250 grand,
which is bonkers.
What? I didn't know they got paid back. I just knew how much it was.
I didn't think they would, but I think they have you've got a pretty good case. I mean, not because the wedding was fake and rubbish and stuff, but like if you pay for a service to be live streamed and your live stream starts to cut out, then you've got a pretty good case to say I didn't get what I paid for. That's
actually a pretty good way to look at it. And then on top of that as well, like you said that this was like relative. It's used by people and celebrities, this new app, but it makes me wonder if there was any incentive for the wedding to be streamed on that app. If there was a financial incentive.
I'd like to comment, but I have no clue. I wouldn't even know where to start if I wanted to make a pay-to-view.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. I mean, like the previous pay-per-view event was
the boxing
KSI v the other Paul.
Yeah, man, they were savage with their copyright on that one. If you so much showed a frame of that fight on YouTube, you'd get your thing taken down. It was rough.
Yeah. It was funny, though. They took a little bit to get on that, too. They're vicious now, but I actually saw the entire fight on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it all, too.
Yeah. There's probably like some dude just locked up in prison being stroked by Bubba, and he's just like, I did this for you guys, man. And we're just sitting here like, ha ha ha, that guy. Oh, what a legend. He uploaded it.
As if it's that hard to just screen record the fight and slap it up later under a fake email address.
Oh my God, yeah, that's so true. Just VPN it. Done. Hello. Thank you for my, 10 million views in 3 hours.
But yeah, I think I'd go to that wedding. I don't think I'd enjoy it, but
I feel like that way, sort of how when you say like you wouldn't enjoy it, that's kind of how I'd also do that. It was the same sort of thing. Like I nearly went to Taylor Swift, just gone in Australia.
Yep.
I wasn't super psyched for Taylor Swift. I don't particularly enjoy her music, but it was for the sake of being like, yeah, I've been.
Oh, for sure. I mean, and if you think about who Jake Paul and Tanner are, that is their industry, is this idea of like being popular for the sake of being popular, being famous for the sake of being famous. Yeah, going to see the wedding because who isn't? That kind of mentality, I think, is really what sold them their terrible e-tickets.
Oh my God, that means that I was a part of it. I enabled the system.
But luckily, here we are talking about this over an audio format, so we can't get taken down for showing anything.
That's exactly right. As soon as, it's lucky you don't have a webcam. I'm just, bearing all right now. It's great.
And luckily we're not posting any pictures of this wedding on Instagram because apparently they too are pretty bloodthirsty.
I'm impressed. That was a very well done segue.
It kind of was, but this has nothing to do with the wedding. We've got new news. Is it new? No. Is it?
It's a few days old, but it's not
25th of July apparently was the exodus. Instagram went through and outright banned a bunch of meme accounts, is what they're calling them, but accounts that post jokes. Yeah. I don't follow any of these people that got nuked, so I didn't even hear about this till well after. But apparently they usually give a warning, here's what post is offending our TOS, fix this, don't do this. But apparently this time we're talking no time for appeal, just boom, wiping accounts with millions of followers.
Yeah. And big accounts that are well known too.
Yeah, I hadn't, was it Nutted or something?
Nutted, Suck, and they were let me rephrase it. They were the 2 out of the 3 examples given that I did know.
Yeah. So this is horrifying, not horrifying, but this is really upsetting for these people. They've been sinking countless hours into these accounts and they're gone overnight. Now, yet again, I think we've said this probably about 3 or 4 times, Instagram is not a viable website for hosting any kind of business out of it. It is as flimsy as the rest of the internet is, which we'll talk about later. But in this case, they are just doing what they should have always done. Somebody makes content, another account re-uploads it, then the account that re-uploads is the offender, and they should get reprimanded in some regard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They need to be. If you don't reprimand and you don't enforce any of the TOS, then all you're doing is creating a breeding ground for abuse.
Which is what Instagram is. I never used it because every time I logged on, I would literally see the same image over and over again. The same jokes, time and time again, 1,000 different accounts. If you got a picture of a pug or a cat, you can guarantee that's been posted by 25 Pug Daily, Cat Daily accounts. And it's all just stolen. Sometimes they'll put the little image credit here. But if your account's got 1 million followers and they've got 100... no one's going to go to the 100 account. That million guy gets all the love. I mean, yet again, I'm not too sure how these people are making money. I know some of those meme accounts will get, not affiliate links, but I guess affiliate links. They'll get little shout outs, go to this link and get 10% off. They could be making money off this through somebody else's work, but I don't know. I
don't know if... This is one thing I actually don't know, is if Instagram have an inherent monetization program. Oh, hang on, wait, sorry. Thank you, waitress. I appreciate that. She just gave me the tablet. Instagram monetization.
Oh my God, you type like an old woman.
Okay, so the top 3 links are like, how to make $3,500 a month.
Well, how do you? I've been sleeping on on the back seats here in the tavern for the past month. I'd love to get some money for rent.
You know what? I'm actually thinking that they're starting to really not like us. They used to like us, they did, and then they were like, wow, these guys snore.
Oh no, they're sick of me.
Really?
I keep leaving beard hairs in the sink.
James. So from what I can see here is...
It's affiliate links. It's taking money for advertisements.
It's 100% affiliate. They don't have an inherent monetization program.
Yeah, I guess not. I mean, Facebook is the same owners and they don't... hand out cash. Do they?
No, they've just started to do that with a lot of the streamers. That's why you've probably noticed that there's a heap more streamers on Facebook now.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, they've started to introduce a monetization program for individual pages rather than just using sponsored links and things, which is really interesting actually how they're going through with that, which is why, if you've seen it, it's like YouTube used to be, I think it was like 3-4 years ago, they were really harsh on YouTube because they were doing heaps of ads, and then people got over that, and then Facebook started doing ads, and for some reason people just really and still don't accept Facebook having ads in their videos, which I don't get why, but nobody likes Facebook ads, but YouTube ads, they just kind of expect them and either skip them or just wait.
I totally just blanked. I was trying to think of the last time I watched a Facebook video, and it's probably never.
To be honest, the last time I watched a Facebook video is just like, well, it's usually multiple times a day just because of memes I get tagged in, but if I watch a video that's insert arbitrary time here and there's an ad, I will literally just swipe off the video because it gives you a 10-second countdown till the ad begins.
I just hate the Facebook player. Anyway, this is off topic. Basically, you may be wondering, why do we care? A couple of accounts on Instagram have been banned because they broke the rules. Shock horror. The thing is, this kind of exodus approach that they've taken. They've just gone, you, million followers, I don't give a damn, boom, you're out of here.
Smitten.
How many online websites can do this? YouTube, God, if YouTube took away their, or just ramped up their copyright system, they could actually wipe, and I bet it, 1,000 accounts, 10,000 accounts tonight. If they decided to just go, you know what, we've decided to really crack down this TOS thing, boom.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually.
Luckily, Instagram is not an occupation. For these people with 1 million followers, yeah, it's like a livelihood, sure, but it's not an occupation. For things that are occupations, like Twitch, YouTube,
yeah.
I'm trying to think, what else has income?
Well, that was something I was just thinking then. I'm like, the only platforms that I can think of that have inherent monetization is Twitch and YouTube.
Patreon could do it too. If somebody said, look, I keep getting a perk, what are they called? Donation perk. If this donation perk is content made by somebody else, and Patreon just goes, okay then, that creator, they're gone.
Oh, good night. And there was fire back in 2016 for that, where Patreon were doing that, where they were just a bunch of people who they didn't like or didn't have the correct political views that they wanted sort of representing their site. They just nuked them, got rid of them.
Yeah, they really, I think they've stopped that, but for a while they were really like dabbling their fingers into the community, which is really freaking people out, going like, that's my livelihood. Please back off.
Well, it's very interesting, actually, because that opens up that can of worms, which I'm not going to talk about in great detail, but it's just that idea of where Big Brother, overarching website, YouTube, Twitch, Patreon, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter.
But that is the topic we're talking about. Is you maybe think that like, Patreon affecting the political views of their creators, that's one thing. But Instagram hit the meme accounts, specifically the meme accounts. The cat accounts are also just posting the same pictures of other people's cats,
Yeah.
Well, the food and the coffee, these accounts are just reposting other people's stuff. The inspirational quotes. Why do tomorrow what you could do today? Exist in the future and live in the now. Why aren't those getting nuked as well? Is it because they don't trust themselves to be able to pick out what is original content in there? Because you know that how many of these people are actually making their own inspirational content? Like, not a zip, right? But it's interesting that they've gone, okay, we're starting with the memes. Who is it going to be next? Or is it going to be no one? And Instagram just hates memes.
Could you imagine if this was some Article 13 bullshit, like some fireback from that?
Well, we are seeing that. Around the world, countries are cracking down on websites to become more responsible. I think it's crazy that a website can do that, right? They can just decide, hey, this thing... this is kind of what rules are there for.
Yeah.
You put a rule in, do not... this is not what they're targeting, but let's say Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Do not show the nipples, right? This is pretty standard. Every female, not porn star, but any softcore female creator on Instagram knows, keep those nipples hidden. It's a key rule for Instagram, right?
Yeah, every sexual orifice or
genitals,
part.
yada yada yada. Now, nipples, what does that entail, right? Do they need to clarify gender? Do they need to clarify species? Before they can just nuke all these accounts and go, hey, look, it was in the rules.
Yeah.
Suck off that one. I don't know.
Oh my God.
I think this meme thing is kind of... I'm okay with this, personally, because I don't follow repost accounts. I just don't. I've never liked YouTubers or Instagrammers or Twitter accounts that just steal content. Now, I understand some people really do like that, and I get that, but fine. But as a creator of original content, like, especially when I used to draw a lot, I would see my drawings get used by other accounts, and I would be like, God damn. It's so infuriating. And maybe that's why I have such an aversion to this. But I can imagine a lot of people who are really upset, not really understanding why Instagram's taking this step.
It's actually a very good point you make there. That's, how should I put it? The whole idea of people just re-uploading other things from people. In theory, if you've created it yourself, somebody's committing some sort of copyright infringement.
Yeah.
Whether you like it, or not, that's just what that ends up being if you're just directly freebooting something from somebody else's account. And the problem with that arises, like you said, where people are being successful or quote unquote successful on this sort of stuff, and then they just get completely nuked, and other people are sort of sitting there scratching their head going, what happened? Free my man, he did nothing wrong, sort of thing. And it's like, well, actually, no, they've been doing something wrong for so long now. This is almost beyond anything else. Like, a ban is probably lighter than, if anyone wanted to pursue legal action if they ever did.
And that's kind of how these channels thrive, is by knowing that they're not going to pursue legal action.
Yeah, that's right. And I actually now, that's the DMCA stuff that's pretty big. How I think it was H3H3, how they had their court case about the reaction.
Oh my God, the bald parkour guy.
Yeah, and how they had to go through that entire legal battle, and they ended up winning with the American fair use. Sorry.
I think we're going to get into a weird spot in the internet where the efficiency of these fines is going to crank up. Now, wouldn't it be cool? I'm saying cool with real, without conviction. Wouldn't it be interesting? How about that one? If these breaches of copyright became like parking fines, wouldn't that be cool? So instead of getting your account nuked, you just got like a slap on the wrist, $300, pow, carry on. Can you imagine how good that would be for the finances of content creators? Like, if you were a musician and you've got TikTok by some Kesha. Kesha, that's the one.
Yeah. I thought you meant like the app TikTok.
TikTok is a great example. They use tons of people's stuff. They just speed it up to avoid that copyright. If each one of those just got a slap on the wrist, each person coughs up like a couple $100 or like even less than that, $20. Boom, huge revenue. I do not want to see this happen, but I do think it'll be interesting. We're going to reach that point where instead of being like, take this down or we're going to take you to court until you end up in goddamn jail, you criminal son of a bitch. No, it's just going to be like, hey, look, we see this. I know you didn't mean it. Give us like a not hush money, but here's your fine. Kind of what it had become. I mean, that's kind of what it is at the moment. But instead of hush money, it's like a hush threat.
A hush threat, yeah. Take down the video or you will be a criminal. I bet you didn't think uploading a video yesterday would put you in jail.
But at the end of the day, this is just Instagram. Same owner as Facebook. There's no money here. And that's boring. I want to talk about money. So now we're talking about the real money. Online.
Talking about that real money. That real
money. Virtual money. We're talking about Valve money, Steam cash, Steam money.
Hell yeah. That kind of money that... What's it, Gabe? Old Gabe, praise be to Newell.
Yeah, good old Gaben. The other day, Team Fortress 2... Now, yet again, don't stress if you don't know what about Team Fortress 2 or about the economy, but I'll give you a quick overview. It is a game with cosmetics and weapons and stuff that can be sold and purchased for real money. The other day, they accidentally stuffed up something. There was a glitch that made a occurrence that's usually 1% to 100%. Now, this is astronomical. This is such a stuff up because these items
is over the... Oh.
Yeah, we're not talking about Candy Crush tokens here. We're talking about items that are happily dancing around $5,000, $6,000. Items in the past going for $10,000. These items are expensive, and they just went, "Oops! People now have $10,000 that they didn't have yesterday." That is some serious cash we're talking.
It's huge.
So these items suddenly power. Everyone's got these expensive items. Now, what does that do to the people that occupationally buy and sell these things? There are people that don't have like 9 to 5s. They just buy and sell virtual items.
Yeah.
This stuff up. This is like if the American government accidentally started printing $500 notes and giving them out instead of 20s. Like, this is how dumb this is.
It's typical economy, and you just said that. It's like anywhere in the world, any government, any system that has some sort of economy where one thing is worth X of another thing. If you oversaturate it with the first thing, that X becomes exponentially less because everybody's got it.
Yeah, and unfortunately here... Well, not unfortunately. I used to be heavily into the TF2 scene, Team Fortress 2, TF2. So I'm going to be a bit more like ahead of this than Reese here. But just for a bit of context about the insanity of this stuff, Valve hired a financial expert to organize the online economy of the value of these items. That guy later worked to balance the economy of Greece. That is not a joke. Like, this is the amount of effort that went into this stuff. The one of the pure forms of commodity is called a key. It costs about $2.50, and once it's in the game, it's worth about $1.50. That currency of the key is more stable than some third world countries' economy.
Or just Greece.
Yeah, or Greece's economy, because we know what happened to that. Anyway, this is an economy that has just gone belly up because suddenly everyone's pulling out diamonds. Now, what happened was after about 12 hours or so, they fixed it. The items that were worth thousands of dollars, they made untradeable, as in you can't sell it. In the period of time before they made this decision, things did get sold. Now, this is where the problem is no longer contained. These things have been sold for real cash, as in thousands of real, like, USD, AUD, real money. Yep. Also, they've been traded to other games. So Valve has a big community with Dota 2 and Counter-Strike. Now, this is where you're having this huge ripple effect. People are trading a TF2 Unusual worth $10,000 for a item in CSGO worth $5,000. I think it's sweet. I'm getting a sweet deal. The next day, their $10,000 item is no longer marketable, and the item they gave away still is. You know, this has caused a huge market collapse. Well, not a collapse, but like just a disaster where some people's entire livelihoods live there, you know?
Yeah, it's like selling everything that's almost guaranteed to break with no warranty and no refund policy.
Absolutely. And like Valve tries to keep a lid on this, but this is just, they've not as in like try and cover it up, but they usually are quite good at this. They've had these economies running for tens of years. And suddenly.
How old was I? I was 12 when my mates were talking about TF2 for the first time.
Yeah.
And like, I'm 25 now, so that was 13 years ago. And that's when TF2 was around.
Yeah, the economy didn't start until a little bit later than when it came out, but like, yeah, it has been a functioning economy for years, and then then this thing happened. Like, it's just bizarre. Did you ever hear about EVE Online? The game?
No, I've heard of it, but I don't know what it was.
Really simple. It's not simple. It's a video game, though, where you buy spaceships. You've got clans, or you've got, factions. Now, these ships cost a lot of money. Thousands of dollars in real life money to buy these ships. Each large ship will have smaller ships orbiting it. It's kind of like your larger hub of a community, yada, yada, yada. Yep. Somebody stuffed up and sent his giant ship towards another giant ship.
Oh, God.
Yeah, which is effectively like 2 worlds worth of, these ships combining, and they fought for days and days, and apparently it cost something like $50,000 worth of virtual damage.
Oh my God.
This cost the developers next to nothing, maybe a high bandwidth, who knows, but literally tens of thousands of dollars for these consumers. And some of these people, like, that's a job. I feel like this is really interesting, talking off the back of Instagram and YouTube and Twitch and stuff, where people need to, I don't want to say people need to stop, but people need to be aware. If your finances, if your occupation, if your future is in a virtual space, you have no security as much as you trust the big cheese, you know?
Yeah. That's actually, because that's speaking of YouTube and stuff, that was actually the biggest thing with the adpocalypse. That was what people found, is people that were doing the equivalent of living pay to pay, or they've got themselves into an extent where they felt comfortable with the amount of money they were earning at one period in time. Once that money's gone, all of a sudden these people are freaking out because the money's not there anymore.
Yeah, they've quit jobs, and
it's like their jobs let them go effectively.
Yeah, kind of. I don't blame YouTube 100% for the apocalypse, I'll be honest.
No.
Because their income, which was the advertisers, said, look, you needed to make a change or else we're leaving. So if they didn't change, maybe the money wouldn't have been there anyway. In hindsight, yes, it would have balanced out. If the adpocalypse had never happened, the advertisers would have come back, it would have been fine. But I don't blame them 100% there.
No, I don't put any blame on the advertisers or YouTube for that, because effectively, unfortunately, the things that were going on, it was sparked by the community that was offended by what was occurring. And then rather than the offendeds going to the accused perpetrators and saying, you are bad, you need to change, they went right over their head. It's almost like, if I'm having a problem at work and someone goes over my head and starts insulting my boss, going, your employee did this. My boss isn't going to turn around and just go, oh, well, screw you too, lady. They're going to turn around and go, okay, sorry, I'll talk to my employee about that. He either has to leave now let me go now and risk worse, because now this lady has put that thought of rah, 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 rah in his head, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, which is kind of the only difference there, is that in this case, YouTube needed their creators, unlike a business can always hire more people. But, which YouTube lucked out on. They have monopolized the industry, and they have the largest platform, so they don't need to worry about people leaving, because if you want to host your content, we're going to go Twitch. Likely story.
Yes.
But in this case, the adpocalypse is different from this Valve thing, because Valve here, is PewDiePie in a Nazi outfit. Like, they are the ones that have caused this this collapse. And man, I don't think anyone would have any footing to try and sue them because
Well, yeah.
this is their economy. They can do it with it what they please, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's crazy. This is almost like like the global financial crisis of the online space for these content creators. Not content creators, these item traders.
It's such a strange thing to hear, because like I understand on a conceptual level the idea of what's occurring here, but I can't quite weave it together because I haven't experienced this yet. So to hear these numbers go crazy, and obviously there's more people than I'd expect to be a part of this, just hearing this kind of stuff happen to the extent it is, where people are effectively, quote unquote, losing their jobs, to have Valve turn around and just kind of, tinfoil hat and go, I didn't see anything, mister, I don't know what's going on here.
They're not denying it. They're just, we haven't seen what they've decided to do yet, besides not making these items tradable.
Well, and that's it. And it's like, what's the compensation here? Because once you buy something, you're committing to buy it. There's a reason why there's that button that says commit to buy. Yeah. Because you're not committing to resell. You're not committing to get a higher value. You're not investing in stock trade. You're committing to buy that item.
Also, the Steam trade button, actually, when you do that, it has a little thing written, like a little fine print that's not so fine, but it just says, this trade is on you. If they have offered you anything outside of the game, or if they have offered you what is in this trade, just know that we do not, we cannot back any of this up because you're agreeing to this. Anyone that's traded these items and now have been stitched up, I think like they would get destroyed in court. They just have to deal with the fact they may have lost thousands of dollars. Apparently, some people did just instantly liquidate as they saw this collapse. They're like, time to get out of here. And apparently, these people were making thousands of dollars, which would be a handy afternoon of work. I don't think it was an insane amount. I mean, not to dunk on TF2, the economy is a slower, slightly deader one, but the effect on CSGO will be prevalent because that one's still a bit more active.
That's very true. There's sites all around as well. Don't forget there's things like Skin Hub and stuff like that.
That went down, I'm pretty sure. That was gambling. They'd never licensed for gambling. But
all those gambling, okay, cool.
What I think is we will see this again. You know what I mean? As websites progress, we will see more virtual currency, more virtual economy, and we will see mistakes as happens, glitches happen. The government, the governments that we live under, we trust to not collapse the value of our dollar. They might, and they could, but there's nothing we can do about that, right? Anyone with a expensive CSGO knife, I don't even know how much the most expensive one of those costs, but tens of thousands of dollars easy.
Yeah.
They will now go to sleep thinking, ooh, I could lose tens of thousands of dollars tomorrow. As I just trust these people that have stuffed up before,
Yeah, that's the kind of thing as well. You've just put that in a great little package there. Once there is an overarching X, Y, or Z authority that runs the currency, you've now immediately put faith in that overarching power that they will succeed with your currency and make it either worth more or keep it valued the same.
No, but you don't even want it to cost more. You just don't want it to disappear. You don't want it to collapse.
Yeah, we'd want, the Aussie dollar to be worth more around the world, but it's just not. No, it's like, it reminds me of when I was a competitive Yu-Gi-Oh player, because cards all have that same sort of arbitrary value as well. It's like, it's worth what people will pay for it. And the Konami, when they released the banned card list for Yu-Gi-Oh, in one night, they released a swift ban list out of nowhere because this one deck was doing so well. They released an emergency ban list, and it crushed the value of the deck by, I think it was like 8 times less than it was worth when people bought it.
And I've got to assume that the resale, not even say the resale, but the value of all cards should have suffered from that, just because of how fickle your overlord has proven,
Exactly, and it's sort of like the only thing that succeeded off that trade or the new ban list was the next best deck that was slightly cheaper being played by everybody that couldn't afford to play this big deck that got destroyed by the emergency list. And then that sort of went up because all of a sudden there was now demand for it.
But they also look at that and think, well, if we don't ban it, then our game's going to collapse.
Yeah, and I mean, Konami is very well known for they hate the secondary market. They want to be the primary owners of everything. You know, it's like if you get caught selling at an official tournament, they'll kick you out and ban you from turning up to another one.
Seriously, hot damn.
Yeah, they're crazy like that. It's pretty intense.
We've seen this in games before too, where they just have to make that call. If you look at Hearthstone, they decide to make cards go wild, which is effectively like their ban list. All the time. There was a period of time where they had the Jade Druid. I'm probably offending people if that's incorrect, but Jade Druid was just an incredibly powerful, probably too powerful deck that they let run because they thought, we're not gonna collapse this economy, we're not gonna stuff everyone around, we'll let it run, and it was devastating while it lasted. I don't know if it's still in there. I don't think it is. I think they nerfed it or something. But sometimes games just make that call. I don't agree all the time, and sometimes I do agree. I think
it's a financial decision in the end for them because it's if more people are annoyed, that means there's less people playing, and that means less money to them.
Oh, for sure. I mean, especially when you're talking about... But then again, the only difference there is that things like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon and stuff, they make their money off pure RNG. You buy the deck. But if they're banning powerful decks, that wouldn't stop those people from buying RNG packs anyway,
No, that's right. But what it does do is it has that trickle-on effect where it's people get annoyed. They don't want it. They're like, screw Konami, screw Pokemon. They've ruined me again. I spent so much money on this, and now they're just saying that I can't play it anymore. That's awful. And then they just, leave, and they're like, fuck this game. I'm going to go do something else. And they don't come back, and all of a sudden now they're selling one less X, Y, and Z person,
Yeah, which Valve at the moment is totally looking at. If I lost so much as $50 to $100... I would be making bloody circles of blood in my bloody garage trying to summon some kind of curse against the company. I would be furious. The idea of people losing thousands, and we're hearing quoted numbers of upwards to $7,000. I would be livid. I would be a unbridled wrath against this goddamn company.
Oh my god! Was there any actually official apology released, or was it just no remorse? It happened.
I don't know. Valve has great PR, right? They are a game company that hasn't made a game in years. They have good PR to not upset people. I think they're going to hold off, we'll give it a day, and then they're going to deliver a good apology, a good solution. At the moment, making everything untradeable, stopping the flow of commerce is the correct way to fix a disaster in the economy. Kind of like when if you've ever used the share market, if shares start to fluctuate and fly around too much, there's a minimum and a maximum of how much their value can change in a day. This kind of situation where they're like, okay, look, this is volatile, we'll stop it, and obviously a temporary solution. If I've spent a lot of money on a hat because I want to resell it and suddenly it's not sellable, I'm furious. I trust them. As much as these people that lost thousands of dollars trusted them, I trust Valve to make decisions here, and we'll just have to see what happens. Man, I was just thinking that their economy, their online, the Steam marketplace, you can put orders in for certain items to automatically purchase. Man, that must have had some effect during this. Goddamn.
Ooh, that would have been awful. Turn on your computer to find out that you automatically bought a brick.
Yeah, I mean, a nice looking brick, at least you got that.
Yeah. You'll actually have to play the game now with it. Ooh.
Oh, be seen with my unusuals?
You mean, oh god, hang on, actually. I'm pretty sure the bartenders are giving us the greasy look.
Yeah, because you just went and traded them a card for a lemon.
I told them I wanted a lemon, and they were like, do you have, Valkyrie and the Magna Warrior? And I said, yes. And then they just traded me one for one, and now they realize that it was a fake. It's not my fault. It said the same name.
Oh my god. We're never getting invited back here again. Okay, let's,
So it looks like Happy Hour's just finished up for the night. This has been Tavern at the End of the Internet. We'd love to catch you back here next week, so to be sure to follow or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And if you're on iTunes or Stitcher, we'd love it if you could leave a review. James, where can we find you?
You can find me on YouTube, Twitter, Insta, all the good stuff at anurchin, Nurchin. Reese, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram and on YouTube under Netwinder, Netwinder, or on Twitter under Real Netwinder.
I've been using a Blue Eyes White Dragon as a beer coaster. I don't think they appreciate that either.
I'm pretty sure Kyber's coming to get you.
Okay, well let's just slide that on the floor and let's just go.